It is time for another limited edition model from WSI. It is a truck model and is a Volvo FH4 Globetrotter, and it's on an 8x2 chassis with a flatbed and a Palfinger loader crane. This limited edition is in the colours of the German company Weiland. The packaging is the same as it is for nearly all of WSI's truck models, and that allows us to get the knife out and swish through the factory taping. Off with the lid and we can lift out what's inside, and we start with the truck model itself. And next out we have a bag of long bits. After that we've got a bag of short bits, and then we've got just a bit. Included with this model is the standard WSI Palfinger manual. For the assembly, we'll get the truck ready for the road, and this truck is a little bit unusual because it has sideboards. These are metal and they fit into the holes that already exist for the deck posts, and their design means that you put the rear one in first and then the two side ones. But in reality they are a bit too loose fitting, so here we've put just a little bit of plastic putty into the holes, and then when we press the sideboards in it all stiffens up a bit. This truck also has a big Palfinger crane, and we will go large by taking out the end piece and adding back the fly jib. Starting underneath, and the 8x2 chassis is, as you would expect, very detailed. The green part appears to be the underside of the gearbox, and there's a detailed transmission running to the drive axle. All axles have a realistically modelled suspension, and as usual the tyres on the driven axle are different from the others. The roof of the Globetrotter cab has nice stub aerials and a couple of beacon lights and a light bar, and a couple of air horns add to the furniture. The Weiland name appears at the top, and there's some excellent detailing of the grille, and that includes small badges. There's a big box for the front outrigger, which is not functional on the model, and there are nice lights and chevrons. The mirrors on the cab are colour coded, and the graphics on the side are very crisp and sharp. The step up has got texturing, and the wheels are very detailed also. Behind the cab is the big Palfinger loader crane, and it has some excellent tiny graphics detailing, and that includes control levers. There's further intricate detailing of the exhaust box, tanks and rear wheels, and the metal sideboards have got some nice highlighting. The headboard at the front has also got a nice pattern. One small weakness is the outriggers because the pistons can't be fully retracted. At the back there's a realistic number plate and the lights have plastic lenses, and the backboard has the Weiland name. The flatbed deck has got some plastic replica timbers and a smooth metal spine. The Palfinger crane has got some intricate detailing, although the chains shown here are not included with the model. The fly jib has got some tiny graphics and very small pistons. Moving on to the functionality, and the driven axle spins freely, and the front axles have linked steering. Out on the Cranes Etc. test track, and the Volvo rolls very easily in a straight line, but if we set the steering we see that the steering angle is very shallow. There is another feature on the chassis, and that is that the rear axle can be clipped up out of service, and to do that you push the axle down and rotate the clip. You have to fiddle with it a bit to get it to go as far as you need, but if you do that the rear axle doesn't rotate when the model drives along. The other feature that you would expect is the tilting cab with the Volvo engine underneath. To use the Palfinger we pull out the outriggers, and the rear one seems to be single stage even though there's a second stage modelled in the outrigger box. At the front the two stage outriggers are of the pull out and turn round variety, and when you've lowered the pads as far as they'll go you can put some spreaders underneath. The model does have another outrigger at the front of the cab, but that one is non-functional. Now that we're rock solid, strong and stable, we can set about opening up the big Palfinger. With the fly jib on, this is now a complicated piece of equipment, and it has to be carefully unfolded. The hydraulic rams are reasonably stiff, although there are pins to insert in the main ram jackets when the boom is extended to stop it bleeding down. Once the loader crane is opened up a bit, we can rotate it round, and it's easy to extend the multiple telescopic sections. Let's look at some of the other possibilities for the model, and one is to just load it up with some parts as a load. And here we've got some parts from WSI's ballast kit. So we're using a crane hook and 2 pieces of counterweight. Another option for the model out of the box is to fit deck posts, and most of these metal posts are a good fit. Another option is to use the supplied container locks, and then load on a container with a giant hand crane. This is an impressive looking truck model from WSI, and it's an attractive one in the colours of Weiland. Most of the functionality is very good, and as we expect from WSI, the detail level is very high. So this is a good looking model that poses well, and so it's easy to rate it as very good.